mubarak for you, it's my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay, O mubarak for you, it's my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulullah. Wa ala alik wa ashabika ya Habiballah. Assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabi Allah. Wa ala alik wa ashabika ya Nur Allah. Many blessings in reciting Durud Pak upon the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The final Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is said that whoever recites 1,000 salat upon me daily shall not die until he has seen his place in paradise. Sallu ala al-Habibs. You know, sometimes the Mubarak gives you a figure 3 times, 20 times, 50 times, 100 times, 313 times. And when you hear 1,000 times, then you think, you know what, this is a little bit beyond me. Yeah, it's going to be too hard for me 1,000. But break it down. Alhamdulillah, we are all Muslims. We read, inshallah, if we don't, we'll make our intention that we will read our namaz at least 5 times, 5 times a day, the 5 daily prayers. In them 5 daily prayers, before 100, after 100, 200 per prayer, every day, 1,000 inshallah. And inshallah, you'll be blessed, inshallah, that you'll see your place in paradise. And it's not me that's saying this. I'm not saying that you will see your place in paradise. It's the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that's saying this. And today we're going to talk about Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, Imam Ahmad Raza, that he had this firm belief, firm iman, that whatever the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he believed it. He believed it. Everything he said, he believed it. You know that, I was thinking about it on the way there, that a small child, that when the parent says to the child that, look, don't go near this, you'll burn your hand. Or, they even give these stories to their children that, don't go behind the curtain, there's a bow there, yeah? And so that child is scared of that. And the child listens to the parent. He believes whatever the parent has said, that child believes it. When it came to Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, whatever the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't just say he believed it, he firmly believed it. And that is something that we need to look to ourselves. Inshallah, today we're going to talk a little bit about his life. We're going to talk a little bit about how he used to invite people to the path of righteousness. But at the same time, he was a great lover of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, if time permits, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. The reviver of Islam, Imam Sunnah, Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, rahmatullah ta'ala, he had a neighbor. And this neighbor was called Muhammad Shah Khan. But people would call him Haji Muhammad Shah Khan. He was quite a wealthy person. He was a landowner and he was an elderly person as well. Now, when people become successful in this dunya, you're a successful person, you're a wealthy person, and also an older person, it can lead to people having a bit of superiority. People think that they're better than other people because I'm older. They think that I'm better than other people because I'm richer. They think I'm better than people because I've got this land. They think I'm better than people because I've got this status. And this develops, it happens, it's a normal thing that as people get older, as they get wealthier, as they get powerful, they have this superiority status. Yet this particular person, Haji Muhammad Shah, he wasn't like this. Sayyid Kanat Ali, rahmatullah, says that one day I saw him sweeping the entrance of the Imam's home. Sweeping the entrance of the Imam's home. And yet he was an old man in himself. And the Sayyid could not bear the sight of this because he was an old person. So he tried to take the brush off him. Azur, you're an old person, let me do it. And he said, no, it is an honor for me. It is an honor for me to sweep the doorstep of my Sheikh's home. Allahu Akbar. Sayyid Kanat Ali, he was amazed by this. As he was unaware that Haji Muhammad Shahid was actually a murid of the Imam Sahib. Seeing this surprise upon the Honorable Sayyid's face, the elder person, he said that I'm older. I'm older than Imam Ahmad Raza Khan. I witnessed his childhood. I witnessed his adulthood. I witnessed his old age. I have seen him to be unparalleled in every stage of his life. And this is why I've taken the bayat with him. Most people become pious in the later stages of their life. But Imam Ahmad Raza Khan was outstanding in his childhood as well. You know, people as they get older and they're getting closer to that time where, you know, they're at a high risk, as you would say. The risk factor is starting to increase now, that you think you're getting closer to death. And as people think that they're getting closer to death, then obviously it starts happening. That people start getting closer to the masjid and closer to Allah. And a lot of people, you know, just going slightly aside from that, a lot of people have this false mindset. That, you know, when you say to them, come to the masjid, when you say to them, spend time in the masjid, no, I'll do it later. What is later? Later in their mind is, you know, when I get older, when I retire, then I'll go and sit in the masjid. When I get older, when I retire, I'll do all the things that you're telling me to do, but let me enjoy my life now. And this is a shaitanic whisper. This is a shaitanic whisper because, number one, you cannot guarantee that you're going to get old age. Nobody can have that guarantee. And if this saying was true, that when you get older, you spend time in the masjid, then this masjid would now be full of old people. Yeah? There is more than, mashallah, there's some nice, pious old people here today, beautiful faces here. But without a doubt, there's a lot more old people in the community here. Where are they today? Where are they today? Allah Azza wa Jalla has not blessed them. Like I said at the beginning, Allah has blessed you. They are not blessed. Allah Azza wa Jalla has not given them that blessing that you have got. So this is a shaitanic whisper in our mind that when we get older, we'll get pious. When we get older, we'll read our namaz. When we get older, we'll go to the masjid. This is a shaitanic whisper. If you want to become pious, don't wait for a day. Don't wait for a month. Don't wait for a year. Do it now. Start now. You know, I remember before the month of Ramadan, in the month, I think 3 or 4 months before the Ramadan, we were talking with someone. And we're talking that, please start reading your salah, make salah of reading 5 days. You know. And he said, brother, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll do you a deal. I said, what's the deal? He said, I will start reading my salah 5 times a day with Jamaat from the first of Ramadan. And some brothers went, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. I said, why are you saying Subhanallah? Why are you saying Subhanallah? They said, what do you mean? I said, listen to what he said. He's made an intention that from now to Ramadan, he's not going to read his namaz. He's made an intention that from now to Ramadan, he's going to commit the sin of not reading the namaz. Why are you saying Subhanallah? So again, we need to have this right mindset. Don't think that that time will come. A lot of people say when Ramadan comes. A lot of people say when I get older. A lot of people say when I get my daughter married. You know, even people say, let me get him a kitchen extension, then I'll come to the masjid. What is this? This doesn't happen. You know, you've got no guarantees of all this. And this is that mindset that we have, that we're waiting for something. If not now, then when? If you're going to do something pious, don't wait for tomorrow. Today is the day. You have come to the masjid. If you come to the masjid today and you're going to make some pious intentions, don't wait for Friday. Don't say, okay, tomorrow, you know what? Fajr is going to be a bit hard in the morning. I'll miss Fajr. And then inshallah, I'll start at Zohr. I'll start at Asr. I'll start, whatever it is. Or I'm working tomorrow. I'll start on Saturday. No. Again, these are shaitani whispers because as you make them delay, shaitan will give you another whisper. You miss Fajr, now miss Zohr. What difference does it make? You missed Dhuhr, now miss Asr. What difference does it make? You missed Asr, now miss Maghrib, miss Isha. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it next week. Let's do it when the holidays come. You know, the weather's nice at the moment. I want to have a line. I want to enjoy myself. These are all shaitanic whispers. So don't wait for a time. Don't let shaitan have these whispers in your mind. I remember I met somebody. I used to go, personally, I went to his house many times. And I used to try and invite him to the Ijtima, invite him to the masjid. And he was into bodybuilding. That's all he wanted to talk about. I talk about the masjid, he talk about bodybuilding. Whatever I talk about, he try and build in bodybuilding. Anyway, unfortunately, what happened was, his father passed away. And when his father passed away, he went to Pakistan and he came back. And when he came back from Pakistan, I went to see him. And obviously, he had a life-changing event had taken place in his life. And he looked at me and he said, you know what, brother? You know, when I become pious like you lot, yeah, these were his words. When I become pious like you lot, I'm going to grow a beard. I said, Chacha. I said, brother, can you tell me, at what point in your life are you going to determine that you're going to be pious? Where's the line? Show me the line. Yeah, because maybe I'm not pious. Show me what that line is. And he started thinking, I said, what are you saying? I said, show me the line. There is no such thing as when. When am I going to get pious and then I will do this? Show me the line. And he said, so what you're saying is that start growing the beard now? I said, yes. I said, if you want to become pious, start now. Grow the beard now. Go to the masjid now. Start reading your namaz now. Don't wait for tomorrow. There's no such thing as a piety line. There's no such thing as a piety line that when I cross that line, I'm pious. Make the effort now and make that change now. Coming back to the topic of the day. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, he's a great bounty for the world of Islam. A great blessing for the world of Islam. When enemies of Islam, you see, we're in a time now where we don't realize what was happening then. If you study history, you see that when enemies of Islam planned and plotted against the religion, when deviant sects were gaining traction, when innovations were spreading, and people even tried to misquote the Quran, and they even changed Islamic teaching entirely, in the midst of all of this, Allah Azza wa Jal blessed the ummah with Imam Ahmad Raza Khan. He came as a reviver. He brought the tribulations at the time to an end and destroyed the plans connected by the enemies of Islam. He stopped misguided sects from spreading their falsehood and explained Islamic true teachings. The great Imam defended true Islamic beliefs and teachings, defended the honor of the Quran and the Prophet ﷺ. He eradicated innovations. He spread the Sunnah of the Prophet of Allah ﷺ. He amended society. He taught people how to love the Prophet of Allah ﷺ, and he raised the flag of Islam. Alhamdulillah, the 25th of Safar marks the Urs of the great Imam. You know, if you think about it, my dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani Channel, if it was not for this great personality, this building that you're in today would not be here. This building that you are in today would not be here if it was not for Sayyidi Ala Hazrat. It is the teachings of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat that created the environment of Dawat Islami. And it's Dawat Islami that's created this. So if it was not for this great personality, then not only this, but many, many masajid around the world, many, many madrasas around the world, many, many Jamatul Madinas, all the institutions of Dawat Islami, thousands and thousands of them, we would not be here. It's because of this great person. We owe it to him in his teachings. And we also owe it to follow in his footsteps and learn something about his life. If you look about his life, if you were to read about the life of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, it's surmised by his passion for reforming the Ummah. You know, any of our great personalities, any of our rich heritage, and I use this word rich heritage, a lot of people think that Muslims don't have a rich heritage, that we don't have these people to look up to. Islam is full of great role models for us. The problem is we don't know anything about them. We know more about footballers, we know more about politicians, we know about singers, actors, and stuff than we know about these great role models. These role models are in our society, they're in our history. We need to learn about these people. And if you look at all of them, how they lived their lives, the piety that they had in their lives, and the way that they took it upon themselves to promote good and forbid evil. All their lives they did this. That even when Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was a young child, it stated that he was in a madrasa, he was a student in a madrasa. You know our children that are sitting here in the madrasa? He was in the madrasa as a student, and another student entered the room, and the student gave the teacher salam. The student said to the teacher, salam. And the teacher replied, may you live long. May Allah give you a long life. The Imam, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, he was a young child at the time. He said to his teacher, my beloved teacher, my respected teacher, we should reply to salam with wa alaikum salam. This may seem something significant to you. This may seem insignificant to you. But this teacher was a pious person, and he didn't become angry. He didn't become unhappy or embarrassed by this. Instead, he expressed happiness and he prayed for his gifted student. We learn a lesson here. We learn learn many lessons here. Number one is that no matter what your status is, that I'm a grown man now, you know, I've got my white hair on my beard, and I've got some white hair in my head as well. If a young child corrects me, I should appreciate it. I shouldn't have this mindset. What's this kid doing? Who does he think he is? Yeah? Coming to the madrasa for 2 days and he's teaching me? Who does he think he is? If anybody can teach us, then let them teach us. If anybody can guide us, but at the same time, we need to have this heart, this big enough heart to take it. Nowadays, people think that, oh, because I'm older, I know, what do you know? I went to madrasa 10 years, what do you know? I done this, what do you know? I did this, what do you know? And this again is shaitanic whispers that are teaching with us. And we said it many times before that, you know, these children that are in the madrasa, they're learning the Quran every day. They're learning how to read the salah every day. They're learning how to perform wuzu every single day. When did we learn how to perform wuzu? 10 years ago? 20 years ago? 30 years ago? 40 years ago? Just because you learned to perform wuzu 40 years ago doesn't mean to say it's perfect now. So if a child says to you, uncle, you're not doing wuzu properly, maybe you're not doing wuzu properly. Because you've not had your wuzu checked. If you're not reading your salah properly and a child says to you, uncle, I don't think you're reading your salah properly, maybe you're not reading your salah properly. So we should take this advice, learn from them children. They are here every day learning. We're not here every day learning. There's a great chance that these children will know more than us. And again, this mindset, this shaitanic whisper, that what does he know? How can he teach me? Everybody can teach you. A child can teach you. An adult could teach you. And here we're seeing that the teacher of Sayyidi Al-Hazrat, when Sayyidi Al-Hazrat said to him, that my beloved teacher, second thing, the respect. It was done in a respectful manner. It was done in a respectful manner. That my beloved teacher didn't say, you done that wrong. Why are you not saying wa alaikum salam? He said, my beloved teacher, my respected teacher, when somebody comes, we should reply like this. Again, if you want to rectify someone, nowadays, if we're rectifying people, the manner of our rectification is wrong. We shout at them. We abuse them. Yeah, you're 15-year-olds and you don't know how to do this yet? You're 18-year-olds and that's how you're reading namaz? And we're telling them off. That's pushing people away. If you want to rectify people, rectify them in a beautiful manner. And it's stated in Tafsir and Naimi that the worst of people is he who remains stubborn despite receiving a good advice or hearing the name of Allah. The worst of people, if someone gives you advice and you're stubborn about it, then it's written in Tafsir and Naimi that you are the worst amongst people. The second pearl of wisdom that we can take from this incident is that even in his childhood, he was a preacher. Even in his childhood, he invited people towards goodness. All his life, Sayyidi Al-Hazrat, he invited people to the path of righteousness. That is also something that we need to do. I remember I met somebody once, and he was talking on this topic. And he said, I apply the 3-foot rule. And I says, what's the 3-foot rule? He said, my arm is 3 foot long. I said, okay, fair enough. He said, whoever comes within 3 foot, I give them Nikki Kidawat. He said, whoever comes in this radar, I call them to the masjid. And I thought, wow, that's brilliant. What a mindset that he has, that whoever comes with this, do we do this? Do we invite people? When Hazrat Musa alayhi salam asked Allah Azza wa Jalla, what is the reward for inviting someone to the path of righteousness? What is the reward for giving someone Nikki Kidawat? And Allah Azza wa Jalla replied that for every word that you speak, 1 year of ibadat, 1 year of worship will be written in your book of deeds. You know, when the number of times I've read that, and you think about it, you think it wasn't one word, one successful word. Not one successful word, one word. So if you invite 100 people, and none of them turn up, you'll still be rewarded. The farmer's job is to plant the seed. It is up to Allah Azza wa Jalla to make that seed into a tree. But nowhere can a farmer expect trees to grow without planting any seeds. It doesn't happen. The farmer's job, he must plant the seed, otherwise no tree will grow. No crops will grow unless he plants the seed. And we think, you know, we should have trees growing. We should have crops growing. Everything this should be happening. You've not done anything. How do you expect it to happen? It doesn't happen like that. Our job, plant the seed. Our job is to call people. The Imam alayhi sunnat, he was also an embodiment of inviting people to the path of righteousness. And he spent his entire life guiding and rectifying the ummah in their affairs. Whether it was day or night, during a journey or at home, he never missed an opportunity. He never missed an opportunity to call anyone to the path of righteousness. It is stated that during his second Hajj, he was sat in a masjid for the Jummah Salah when the Khatib says something not right according to Islamic line. He said something incorrect. Now bear in mind, Sayyidi Al-Hazrat was in a different country, a foreign country. And in the masjid, they had a large gathering there. And the Khatib, he was delivering the sermon. He had his own aura, he's got his own, presence, people that respect him. He's the Imam of the masjid. And so when these sort of things happen, it's easy to feel scared. But no, Imam Ahmad Raza, he couldn't remain silent. And when something that opposed Islamic law was said, so when the Khatib said these words, the Imam instantly said, "Oh Allah, this is evil. Oh Allah, this is wrong." And after explaining this incident, the Imam says that a hadith states that whoever sees something wrong should alter it with his hand. If he does not have the strength to alter it with his hand or stop it with his hand, he should stop it with his tongue. If he cannot stop it with his tongue, he doesn't have the strength, he should at least feel it wrong in his heart. And again, this is the least of faith, the weakest of Iman. He then said that Allah Azza wa Jalla has granted me the ability to act upon this command. and I responded to evil with my tongue. It is the mercy of Allah that no one confronted me, and I remained safe. But in looking at this, how many of us see wrong going around us? We see evil going around us. We see sins committed around people committing sin. What do we do about it? Nothing. We ignore it. You know, there's a saying in English, I'm all right, Jack. As long as I'm all right, I don't care about anybody else. As long as I'm all right, I don't care about them. You know, even if you don't have the ability to stop someone committing a sin, even if you don't have the ability to say something against the sin, at least in your heart, think, Ya Allah, this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening. And unfortunately, in our society today, we've got to that point where we don't even feel it. We don't feel the pain of the ummah. We don't feel what's happening around us. We just think it's normal. We just think it's normal. I remember someone giving me an example. He said that, have you ever realized there's a difference between us, the majority of people that are here, that are from the Pakistan-Indian background, and a person that comes from Pakistan, India, the first day in this country? There's a difference between us and him. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you know, when you pick him up from the airport, you know, whatever Birmingham airport's they're located, you pick them up from the airport and then the car, and all the way home they're going, Astaghfirullah, 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 Astaghfirullah. What's up with him? What's up with him? Because he's seeing things that he's never seen before. And he's seeing things that are wrong. But for us, it's just normal. We just accepted it. And he gave me a beautiful example. He said, a frog, if you put a frog in boiling water, he'll jump out. As soon as it touches the boiling water, he'll jump out. But put a frog in cold water, he's happy. And then turn the heat on. Slowly, the temperature goes up and up and up. And eventually what happens is, the frog dies. He said that us, with a frog in that cold water, with the temperature going up and up and up, and eventually we spiritually die. And that person that gets off the plane, he's that frog that jumps into the hot water, and all of a sudden he's going, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. And this is a reality. We don't realize what's happening around us. We accept it, it's normal. We don't think it's anything wrong. Oh, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with people drinking alcohol. There's nothing wrong with people having girlfriends. There's nothing wrong with people taking drugs. It's normal. Everybody's doing it. Why are you complaining about it? Everybody's doing it now. Everybody's son is selling drugs. Everybody's doing this. It's normal now. We won't even say that is wrong. That we've fallen in society so much that if someone is dealing in drugs, nobody says it's wrong. Just, mashallah, look at the car that he's got. Look at the house that he's got. Look at what he's done. Look at what he's done. Yeah, what has he done? You know, again, you need to have a proof of this. You should have positive opinions of people. You should never just assume that someone's got haram income. But if you are confirmed that this person has a haram income, why are you praising him? But again, our society is just developed like this. And so we need to learn to accept what is wrong. Try to stop what is wrong. Even in our household with our small children nowadays. And you say, in our household, we stop our children doing what is wrong. No, we don't. How many times have I seen it, and you may have seen it, that a child swears for the first time. Instead of the parent telling him off, the parent sniggers and laughs. How many times the young girls in the house, first time they start dancing, and instead of the parents telling them off, they start clapping. You're teaching your children this. You are promoting this sin by encouraging them to do this. The sins that we commit in front of our children, they learn from us. When someone phones us up and we're at home, we sat at home having a cup of tea. Where are you? I'm at work. Oh, okay. Children are watching, you're not at work. You're teaching your children to lie. You're teaching them to commit all these things. They're looking at you. I remember once reading somewhere that it said that a child is like a piece of paper. Whatever you write on it stays there. Your children are like stones. Whatever you engrave in them, they'll stay there forever. Yeah. This is what our children are like. And we need to be aware of this. Allahu Akbar. Sallu ala al-Habib. Sayyidi ala Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, he would not be afraid of correcting people. But he would do it with respect and wisdom. Mera Sharif is with the Sheikh of Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, has his spiritual ties. Mehdi Hassan Miya, rahmatullah ta'ala, who was the custodian of the Mera Sharif at the time, says that whenever I went to Bareilly, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat would bring me food himself. We're talking about the Imam of his time. He would bring the food himself and he would wash my hands. This is how humble he was. He says, I once came to him and I was wearing a gold ring, and I was wearing some metal bands. The Imam, he washed my hands as usual, and he said to me, "Respected sir, please give these rings to me, and I will look after them." So I took them off, and I gave them to him. After visiting Bareilly, I went to Bombay, and then I returned to Mera. My daughter said to me that the Maulana from Bareilly sent a parcel containing a gold ring, a metal bands, and a letter. And the letter said, "Honorable lady, these things belong to you." So he took them off him, sent them back to him, but in the letter he said to, "My dear daughter, these are for you." Why? Because he was correcting him. That the gold that he was wearing, the gold ring that he was wearing is haram for men. The metal band that he was wearing, it was haram for him. So he didn't say to him, "Look, what you're doing is haram. You're wearing these gold rings, it's haram. You're wearing these metal bands, it's haram." He didn't say this to him. What did he do? He corrected him in a beautiful manner. By taking them, putting them in a parcel, posting them to his house, and inside there, putting a letter to his daughter, "This is a gift for you." Now the person, what does he see now? He realizes, yes, I'm being taught a lesson here. I'm being taught a lesson here, but I've been taught a lesson with respect. I wasn't insulted. He could have, in front of all of the guests of the house, said, "What are you doing here? Do you not know it's haram for you to wear a gold ring? Do you not know it's haram for you to wear metal bands?" But he didn't. And again, this is something that we need to learn. You know, if you want to correct someone, rectify someone, it needs to be done with tact. It needs to be done with hikmah. Because even if someone's committing a sin and you try and stop them abusively, they will walk away, they won't listen to you. But on that note, just to let you know that wearing anything metal for a man, a necklace, bracelets, rings, unless it's the size according to Sharia, where it's I can't give the exact size at the moment, with only one stone in it, and it's not a gold ring, other than that, it's haram for men to wear this. And you see many of our brothers that have got the gold chains, in fact, some of our brothers have the earrings as well, all of this are haram. And if you see this happening, and if you can stop it, then try and stop it. If you can't stop it, then at least feel it's wrong in your heart. And one of the best ways of trying to stop someone from committing something wrong is, rather than saying to this brother, "You should be wearing a ring, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that," rather than saying that, say it generally. The brothers, do you know it's haram? He gets the message. I'm not pointing a finger at him. I'm not pointing a finger at you, brother. What I'm saying to you is general message in it. Generally teaching people to recognize is the way to do it. By pointing a finger at someone and saying, "You are wrong," obviously they're going to get upset. They're going to get embarrassed in front of us. He's put me to shame in front of everybody. But if you, as a gathering, teach someone. This is the way forward. Teach someone as a gathering that, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. For example, if the Imam Sahib sees someone not performing the ruku properly or not performing the sajda properly, then rather than saying to this person, "Your ruku's not right, your sajda not right," tell everybody that, one of the things that we need to be careful is when we're going in sajda, we need to make sure this happens and we need to make this. Everybody learns. And maybe it might not be just that one person that's making a mistake, maybe 3 or 4 others are making a mistake. They will learn as well. But don't pinpoint anybody. And again, we need to learn this as well. Again, the great knowledge that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat had, it stated that a person came to him who was unsure about the knowledge ability of the unseen, the ilm ghaib. And he was brought to Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, and he asked many questions, and the Imam cordially answered them, all proofs from Quran and Hadith. The man's doubts were cleared, and a few days later, Hafiz went to him and he said, when that man who had doubts left, he said, "My heart accepted the things he said now, and I will become his murid." The way he explained things to him as well. The way he explained to him. And Sayyidi Ala Hazrat said that softness brings benefits that harshness never could. Speak kindly to people who have doubts in their beliefs so you can correct them. Remember, people who have a weak understanding of their beliefs must refrain from discussing and debating these topics. Instead, take a person who has issues to a Sunni mufti, and the latter will explain to them in the light of Quran. If you have any doubts about your belief, don't go and shake Google. Yeah? Go to a proper scholar. Sit down with them. Alhamdulillah, now Dalston has the scholars here. We have our Jamatul Madinas here. We're having our English graduates here. Use them, utilize them. Why did Dawah Islami open these Jamatul Madinas in the UK? So that we can bridge the gap. So that the people here that they're, sometimes when I was brought up in this country, I was scared of speaking to the Imams here. I was scared of speaking to the scholars here because of the way they would deal with me. But 100 Jamatul Madinas here, the UK born English speaking scholars are there. Even today, I was here, I freely phoned up a scholar, one of our old scholars, freely asked him a question. I wasn't embarrassed or ashamed or scared that he's going to tell me off that, Halabai, why don't you know this? Halabai, go to that book, do this. No, he explained to me in a nice way. And that's why we should utilize these scholars. If we have any doubts in our mind, go to these people. Sallu ala al-Habib. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, rahmatullah ta'ala, also was given some special attributes from Allah Azza wa Jal. He also had the ability to perform saintly miracles. It is stated that in 1329 al-Hijri, the Imam visited the scholar Shahbasi Ahmad Surti, rahmatullah ta'ala. And during this time, Sayyid Farzand Ali, rahmatullah, came to visit the Imam, and the former's beard was very short at that time. He had a very short beard. The Imam gazed at him, just looked at him for a long time. The Sayyid then explains that his gaze caused me to break into sweat. It was as if a true devotee of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was guiding me to grow my beard. I received guidance, I repented from trimming the beard, and I grew the beard there and then. You know, again, calling people to the path of righteousness. Again, he could have told that person off, why are you doing this, why are you not doing this? But again, everything in a nice way. So if you want to call people, then call people in a nice way. Sayyidi Ahl Hazrat, after Asr Salah every day, he used to place chairs in his living room and people would come and visit him. When they would come and visit him, they would sit down there and they would ask questions. And Sayyidi Ahl Hazrat would answer them questions. Today, alhamdulillah, every Saturday night, what Sayyidi Ahl Hazrat used to do every single day after Salatul Asr, Amir al-Sunnat, the founder of Dawah Islami, does every Saturday night in the form of Madani Muzakara. It's a golden opportunity. I advise everybody, please make sure you watch the Madani Muzakara. You know, I sometimes think to myself that, you know, when we talk about Sayyidi Ahl Hazrat and that quote, and then people there, how lucky they were, that they were able to sit in front of Sayyidi Ahl Hazrat, yeah, spend time with him, listen to him, gain wisdom from him, and how lucky they were. And we think, I wish, gosh, that I was alive then. Gosh, I was alive then I could have been there. Then we hear about the Ghaus Pak and how he lived his life and how people used to come and learn from him and learn the lessons from him. We think, gosh, I wish that I was alive then I could get that direct guidance from Ghaus Pak. In 200 years' time, in 100 years' time, people will write books. And in them books, they will write about those fortunate people, those lucky people that were able to go and sit in the court of Amir al-Sunnat. Those fortunate people that were able to see them with his own eyes. Those fortunate people that were able to go there. And even those fortunate people that were even to wish they were fortunate enough to watch it live on TV. You will be classed as fortunate people if we watch, if we learn. Because he is a great wali of the time, a great lover of Sayyidi Ahl Hazrat, a great lover of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I advise you all that sit and watch the Madani Muzakara every Saturday. Try and sit there, learn something. You know, knowledge is a weapon for all of us. As Muslims, we are suffering at the moment that we don't have that knowledge of the deen. Because what's happened is a lot of us have gone through that age where we miss the opportunity to acquire the knowledge of the deen. And we feel that we're too old to go to the madrasa now, we're too old to go to the jamia now, we're too old to go to these places now. Okay, maybe you're too busy. But even if you're working on that now, you can put it in your earphones and listen to the Madani Muzakara. Listen to the questions and answers that are being posed and learn, acquire the knowledge of the deen. Alhamdulillah, Dawah Islami is here, and the aim of Dawah Islami is that I must strive to rectify myself and rectify the people of the whole world. And this is done through every aspect of Dawah Islami. Be it the Madrasatul Madinah that these children are here. They're here learning to read the Quran to protect their Iman. The Jamatul Madinah, they're here to create the English-speaking scholars of the future so that they can protect our Iman. Madani Channel is there to protect our Iman. All of these things are here to gain the knowledge of Islam to protect our Iman. So I advise you all, please, encourage yourself to join the environment of Dawah Islami in whichever way you can. Give some time, acquire the knowledge of the deen. Even if you've got to the age now where you think I've gone past that age now of learning, the Madrasatul Madinah Balagan is also there. For our adults, if you want to rectify your Quran or check your Quran. You know, like the people service the cars, people get your car serviced, don't you? You know, you buy a £60,000 car and yet you service it every 10,000 miles. Why? And you want to service it and you get it serviced to make sure that your car's still right. And you're proud, you say, you know, my car got it serviced through a dealer. Yeah? This has got dealer service history and you're proud of the fact that it's got dealer service history. What about your service history of your Quran? What about your service history of your Salah? What about your service history of your namaz? Have you ever had that serviced? And did you get that serviced through a proper dealer, so to speak? Through a proper scholar that you can certify, I got a good scholar to check my salah. I got a good scholar to check my namaz. I got a good scholar to check my Quran. You're proud of your service history of your car. What is your service history of your salah? What is your service history of these things? And if you travel in the Madani Qaflas, if you attend these weekly ijtimas, if you attend the Madrasatul Madina Balagan, then inshallah all of these things will get serviced. And in the same way, servicing your car is not just a one-off time. It's a continuous thing. Keep on servicing your iman, protect your iman, and do whatever you can. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla if I said anything wrong. May Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive me. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla that Allah give me and you the ability to try and follow in the footsteps of some of our pious predecessors, these great personalities, find out more about their lives. Like I said earlier on, unfortunately, we know more about football players than we know about the lives of these people. We need to read up. We've spoken now just for half an hour. We've learned a few snippets of the life of Sayyidi Al-Hazrat. There are many, many books printed by Dawah Islami that are available on our website, www.dawahislami.net, completely free to download. I believe downstairs there will always also be books available. There'll be a Maktabat al-Madina here. There's a beautiful book that you should get, Kanzul Iman, the translation of the Quran that was translated by Sayyidi Al-Hazrat. And the way he translated, when a person speaks, you get an idea of his mindset. This person, he loves this. This person, he loves that. Yeah? When you read the translation of the Quran, you realize that the person who wrote this translation loves the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His whole writing, it just brings it out. You feel it. That whoever wrote this book, he loves the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Kanzul Iman is a Quran translation that should be in every household. If you can understand Urdu, get the Urdu one. If you can't and you get English, get the English one book. Get it in your house and read it. One final thing I want to say with regards to the Quran. The Quran is not a book just for the month of Ramadan. We all know this, but unfortunately, in a lot of our houses, the Quran has become a book for the month of Ramadan. Please attach yourself to the Quran. Don't leave reading the Quran for the month of Ramadan. Read it every day. Please make this intention as well, that inshallah you will try and read the Quran on a daily basis. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla if I said anything wrong, may Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive me. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla that Allah give me and you the tawfiq and ability to think about what I said, to act upon what I said, and to pass this message on to others as well. Ameen bi jahi nabi al-Amin. Sallu ala al-Habib.
Mubarak for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay, Mubarak for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success.